Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be listening to this and wherever you are. This is Internet Friend with the emergency action message and or force direction message compilation video for Monday, February 6, 2023, as well as Tuesday, February 7th, 2023. But before I get into that, I want to jump the gun a little bit and play you guys a recording of something that I heard on February 8th, going by the Universal Coordinated Time Zone. That would have been in terms of the North American hemisphere. Late on Tuesday, February 7th, and it was about 15 minutes before the State of the Union address by President Biden, and I entered it into EAM.watch, and it's an interesting one because I almost got banned for it because the admin of that site didn't believe it was true, and when the message automatically went out to Twitter, there were a lot of angry replies, and even not just against me, they were saying, what the heck did they just broadcast? So this is 100% real. I will play it for you, and I'll get right back to you and explain why it's not a big deal.
Mainsail, this is Whiskey Alpha Romeo.
So the question is basically, did the U.S. military just declare war over shortwave radio? And the simple answer to that is absolutely not. That would be ridiculous. Now, I wasn't too sure of what was going on myself, but I knew enough to understand that they are most likely not declaring war. I think it would be silly to do that over the radio. They're also not saying who they are declaring war on, but I understand why some people might have jumped the gun there. Now, my first inclination was to look at the list of call signs that I have, which is produced at kind of a grassroots level by someone who makes that available. Their email address is on screen right now if I've edited this correctly. And if you look under the W's, there is the closest, there are several call signs with war in the name, but the closest you get to just war is War 46, which is an alternate command post. I have no idea what's going on there, something I might look into later, or something for you to do a little bit of homework on if you are so inclined. Thankfully on Twitter, a couple people reached out and replied either to myself or to the EAM.watch Twitter account, and said war is a Pentagon call sign, not a big deal. And sure enough, when you listen to the recording in full, all Whiskey Alpha Romeo, aka war, was looking for was a radio check. Nothing more complicated than that. And a little bit of digging online, there are past instances of people talking about reaching out to the Pentagon under that call sign. Just pulling this up right now, there is a website called Amateur Radio Adventures, and back in 2019 they talk about how they contacted the Pentagon, call sign war, and talked to a Claude. They also talked to the Navy over Morse code, but again, not a big deal. I don't think I saw anyone else report this, but as I have mentioned, at the end of this month, I am expecting to mostly round down, if not outright conclude this project. I will be doing a live stream this week, trying to figure out when would be the best time because I don't want to come on completely unscheduled. That's either going to be tonight or tomorrow night, and I may do a second one over the weekend just to figure out what might be the best time for everyone. When I would get the most coverage. You can always watch these things as a replay after. But there will be YouTube accounts, there will be news sources, there will be Twitter accounts who will hear a message like that and potentially blow it out of proportion. You yourself may start listening to shortwave radio if you haven't already, hear a call sign like that and not know what to make of it. And the answer is ultimately use common sense. Like I said, I had no idea what was going on, but I knew enough to recognize no one is going to hear this, think war has started over radio. That's not how war is declared. Likewise, neither is anyone from a foreign country listening to U.S. radio going to hear that and think, oh my goodness, they've declared war on us. Because they don't say who they've declared war on, they just say this is war. And in a very real sense, it was war. War came in last night over the radio, talked to Mainsail, and then it was over and out for war. We have reached peace in our time, ladies and gentlemen. It is as simple as a call check. No, but seriously. With that said, this is the video for February 6th and 7th, so let's get into taking a look at those time cards. So with February 6th, another fairly straightforward day. Actually, I would say an even simpler day than the 5th because there may have not been any Victor Kilos. I have 2 4s pretty much down the chart, right? 3 different call signs. A couple of interesting things to note. If you happen to stick around and listen to the recordings, you are going to hear a radio teletype signal in the background of several messages. There are a few points where I leave it on kind of as a din, but that is a signal that has been on and off. The last little while, it was in the 18 to 24 hours before the balloon was shot down, where we heard a lot of it. And it's tough to dismiss as a coincidence, because around the time the balloon was shot down, it went quiet, and then it resumed again. So I have my speculation on that, but at the same time, I want to point you guys towards things like the video I did on December 16th of last year, where again, that signal was present on 899T for extended periods of time. I correlated that to a rivet joint. Whether that correlation was based in fact, tough, but it was something I noticed. So here, kind of trying to make sense of it. Some people say it is a NATO formatted Stanag signal, and if you go to sigid.wiki, you'll hear some samples. I don't think it sounds quite the same, and that's simply because I've had to listen to it for such a long time. I don't see a resemblance. You may disagree. You are entitled to disagree. If that's the case, why that signal is present would be a bit more ambiguous. So yeah, you're going to hear that signal. Another thing, in the 0350 message from Division, you are going to hear voices in the background. This happens occasionally, but if you've not heard that yourself before, I would encourage you to stick around. And one, which you probably noticed right from looking at it, is the 0600. I have it noted there with several dots. Now, if I don't hear something, personally, I put an underscore to indicate I just could not hear that message. There are only a few times I've had to do that. In this case, the dots mean that I understand a message went out, but the operator was unsuccessful in transmitting it. What I mean by that is, if we think back to some of the previous videos, particularly anything regarding February 1st, where we had the operator who's having all these problems, she's turning the microphone off and apparently still reading the message, or then turning the microphone back on and just coming back on. So the same thing happened tonight, and that's where this new notation convention is coming in. Now, that is not the same operator, that is someone else. And because people have asked me about this, I did go ahead and cross-reference. So there is a YouTube account that I no longer use as a consistent source for recordings, because they've put some goofy copyright claim thingy in the corner of their videos. That's not how fair use policies work, but I'm going to respect that person's wishes to not have their project used for something like this, and what the purpose of their project is without that is beyond me. Nonetheless, it does appear that at 600 on the dot, the transmitter went on. If you looked at the waterfall, you would have seen a definite presence of some kind of a signal, but there was no words audible. And then at the same time, as I heard, it was like the microphone just clicked on, and then you heard Romeo, Oscar, Sierra, and then continued on to a repeat of another message. And then the only other thing to really talk about is the 1930 recording for Coal Oil, which is a relay station repeating the 1732 gas house, which had already been repeated once before by Division. I just happened to be able to pick up that relay station. You will again hear voices in the background, something to observe if you are so inclined in observing it. And there is an error on my part, because the recording is going to start kind of like mid-clip of the first read. I think it's going to start around the Gulf, which is about the 9th character in that iteration. Not a big deal, because if you have any uncertainty about the characters there, you would have heard it twice before. Moving on to February 7th, I apologize for a lack of recordings for this particular day. But one thing people were asking me about, the call sign abortive. Does this hold any kind of meaning? So I know in the past I've talked about the fact that some call signs may have special meanings. The balloon was shot down by an F-22 using the call sign Frank, which may be related to a World War I flight ace. So sometimes a call sign may have a special meaning for special circumstances, but the Hfgcs call signs don't really have any special meaning insofar as I can parse. They do have some rules where they cannot be longer than 9 characters, including spaces. So if you think you've heard a call sign that is 10 letters or 10 characters long, You're going to want to listen to that one again. There are occasionally times where the call signs will be chosen in alphabetical order. So close to the start of this year, and I might have talked about this in a previous video, but on January 3rd, the call sign was animosity. On January 4th, the call sign was bar candy. On January 5th, the call sign was cornhill, followed by deer hill, followed by emanation. So A, B, C, D, E. January 8th broke the pattern by going to antidote. January 9th was auto tire. January 10th was sculpture. So it kind of falls apart, but you see a few days in a row there where it was going in alphabetical order. But abortive doesn't mean anything, just like the February 8th call sign, which you'll hear in a future video. The call sign surgical. I do not think that that means that they got a doctor to broadcast messages that day. I do not think that means that the United States military was targeting any hospitals that day. I think these are just random call signs. They may have meanings sometimes in terms of why that is a call sign, but there would not be any correlation as to why that call sign was chosen on that day, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't have a recording for the 1849 message, but I could not make out who it was for. My best guess was that it was for B Road 37. I think I heard D Road. It was very difficult. I don't remember what the heck happened to the recording. I have a feeling I accidentally deleted it or something, but it was a tough one, so I just have it down there as question marks. Overall, these are quieter days when you think about it in the context of a weekday. Now, because I ramble, I'm going to cut off that recap of the days right there and just talk about what's coming up for Internet Frequency Squad programming for this week. So as I've talked about a couple times, combining with something else I've been talking about, so I've been working on a video of the recordings I made on January 5th, which were not emergency action messages, but were strange digital signals. I had about a 20-25 minute rough cut of a kind of overproduced video, and I was watching it, and I kind of decided that it wouldn't land with the audience, and it wasn't really the direction I wanted the video to go in. It was kind of a bit too tongue-in-cheek and jokey. It was kind of like a faux documentary in terms of listening to these messages, and it reminds me of YouTube video essays, which are nominally about a topic, and then just end up being more about the person running the channel and what this thing means to them, and I was like, this is not relevant. So what we're going to do is I'm going to rejig that video completely. That is going to be the topic of this week's live stream, which again is either going to be tonight as an unscheduled impromptu thing, or tomorrow night, Thursday, February 9th, if you are watching this around the time the video came out. And that's going to be me talking about what the actual content of the video is meant to be. Having said that, I did rip out the first few minutes of the video cut as I made it, and I'm going to play that right now for you as a teaser of what the video is about. And then when I do the live stream, if you guys happen to be able to catch that, you will hear me actually talking about all the fun and exciting things that I'm alluding to there. Apologies for the, once again, light visual editing. This is going to be the format going onwards. I'm just going to do more of a podcasty intro, and then we'll have the recordings, which is not too different from what we have been doing already, but it gets the videos out a little bit quicker, and as I said, lets me reclaim a bit more of the day. And honestly, if you guys don't respond to this too poorly, I could see myself sustaining this a little bit longer. But I'd like to hear what you guys think in the comments. Not just about that, if you happen to have any questions, feedback, stuff like that, let me know. It's been nice hearing from a lot of you guys, your response to the news in the last video. Appreciate the positive comments, appreciate the support. And some of the feedback, I do want to talk about that, so when I do the next live stream, in addition to talking about the signals on January 5th, I'll also address some of the feedback in terms of what you guys think about being able to continue the channel and so on. That said, I am once again rambling, so I'm just going to cut myself off here.
February 5th, 2023. A few hours ago, the Chinese spy balloon had just been ripped out of the sky.
That is a key kill. The balloon is completely destroyed.
After taking some time to celebrate, it was once again time for Internet Friend, the world-famous YouTuber and #1 source of information on EAMs, to sit back down and load up his computer to sdrutah.org. He tuned in to 8992 kilohertz, his favorite frequency for monitoring the U.S. military's emergency action messages. Things seemed to be quiet, but then he heard it.
Well, I've been listening for over a year and I never heard anything like that.
In fact, it was a signal he should have never heard, because when he did, he discovered something he was never, ever meant to know about.
It freaked me out. I didn't understand what was going on. I thought the roof was caving in.
This is a story that you won't hear reported anywhere else. It's a story about curious noises on curious radios, the limits of journalistic integrity, and how a simple hobby almost turned into an act of foreign espionage. This story is a wild goose chase, one which starts in the continental US and Canada, and then goes to the Netherlands, Russia, and finally, an inconspicuous weather office in Honolulu. This is the story of the Internet Frequency Squad.
Uniform, Sierra 7, stand by, 2, 4, Golf, Uniform, Sierra 7, stand by, message follows, 2, 4, Golf, Uniform, Sierra 7, Oscar, Papa, Oscar, Romeo, 2, Uniform, 7, 4, November, Delta, Juliet, Alpha, Oscar, Charlie, Foxtrot, Sierra, Quebec, Mike, X-Ray, Charlie, Echo, Romeo, Foxtrot, Papa, I say again, 2, 4, Golf, Uniform, Sierra 7, Oscar, Papa, Oscar, Romeo, 2, Uniform, 7, 4, November, Delta, Juliet, Alpha, Oscar, Charlie, Foxtrot, Sierra, Quebec, Mike, X-Ray, Charlie, Echo, Romeo, Foxtrot, Papa. This is Gas House out.
Uniform, Sierra 7, stand by. 2, 4, Golf, Uniform, Sierra 7, stand by. Message follows. 2, 4, Golf, Uniform, Sierra 7, Oscar, Papa, Oscar, Romeo 2, Uniform 7, 4, November, Delta, Juliet, Alpha, Oscar, Charlie, Foxtrot, Sierra, Beck, Mike, X-ray, Charlie, Echo, Romeo, Foxtrot, Papa. I say again. 2, 4, Golf, Uniform, Sierra, 7, Oscar, Papa, Oscar, Romeo, 2, Uniform, 7, 4, November, Delta, Juliet, Alpha, Oscar, Charlie, Foxtrot, Sierra, Quebec, Mike, X-ray, Charlie, Echo, Romeo, Foxtrot, Papa. This is Division out.
Romeo, Oscar, Sierra, 3, Whiskey, Uniform, X-ray, Oscar. This is Gas House. More to follow. Stand by. 2, 4, Romeo, India, Bravo, Papa. Stand by. 2, 4, Romeo, India, Bravo, Papa. Stand by. 2, 4, Romeo, India, Bravo, Papa. Stand by. Message follows. 2, 4, Romeo, India, Bravo, Papa, India, Papa, Kilo, Lima, Echo, 3, Hotel, Golf, Charlie, Bravo, Uniform, Oscar, Sierra, 7, 3, Delta, Uniform, Lima, November, Whiskey, Foxtrot, 7, Zulu, Tango. I say again, 2, 4, Romeo, India, Bravo, Papa, India, Papa, Kilo, Lima, Echo, 3, Hotel, Golf, Charlie, Bravo, Uniform, Oscar, Sierra, 7, 3, Delta, Uniform, Lima, November, Whiskey, Foxtrot, 7, Zulu, Tango. This is Gas House out.
Gas House, break. 2, 4, Delta, Whiskey, Oscar, Kilo, stand by. 2, 4, Delta, Whiskey, Oscar, Kilo, stand by. 2, 4, Delta, Whiskey, Oscar, Kilo, stand by. Message follows. Kilo, Golf, India, Tango, Uniform, Alpha, 3, Lima, Charlie, 6, Whiskey, Zulu, Foxtrot, 7, Sierra, 4, 7, Yankee, Romeo, 4, Joliet, Oscar, Delta, I say again, 2, 4, Delta, Whiskey, Oscar, Kilo, Whiskey, Kilo, Golf, India, Tango, Uniform, Alpha, 3, Lima, Charlie, 6, Whiskey, Zulu, Foxtrot, 7, Sierra, 4, 7, Yankee, Romeo, 4, Juliet, Oscar, Delta. This is Gas House. Out.
2, 4, Delta, Whiskey, Oscar, Kilo, stand by, message follows. 2, 4, Delta, Whiskey, Oscar, Kilo, Whiskey, Kilo, Golf, India, Tango, Uniform, Alpha, 3, Lima, Charlie, 6, Whiskey, Zulu, Foxtrot, 7, Sierra, 4, 7, Yankee, Romeo, 4, Juliet, Oscar, Delta. I say again. 2, 4, Delta, Whiskey, Oscar, Kilo, Whiskey, Kilo, Golf, India, Tango, Uniform, Alpha, 3, Lima, Charlie, 6, Whiskey, Zulu, Foxtrot, 7, Sierra, 4, 7, Yankee, Romeo, 4, Juliet, Oscar, Delta. This is Division out.
Kilo, Golf, India, Tango, Uniform, Alpha, 3, Lima, Charlie, 6, Whiskey, Zulu, Foxtrot, 7, Sierra, 4, 7, Yankee, Romeo, 4, Juliet, Oscar, Delta. I say again. 2, 4, Delta, Whiskey, Oscar, Kilo, Whiskey, Kilo, Golf, India, Tango, Uniform, Alpha, 3, Lima, Charlie, 6, Whiskey, Zulu, Foxtrot, 7, Sierra, 4, 7, Yankee, Romeo, 4, Juliet, Delta. This is coal oil out.
Victor, Kilo, 4, Hotel, Uniform, November, stand by, message follows. Victor, Kilo, 4, Hotel, Uniform, November, Golf, 3, Quebec, Sierra, Hotel, Foxtrot, 3, Uniform, Whiskey, Bravo, India, Delta, 5, 6, Sierra, Juliet, Sierra, X-ray, 5, Uniform, Hotel, Zulu, Uniform, Kilo. I say again, Victor, Kilo, 4, Hotel, Uniform, November, Golf, 3, Quebec, Sierra, Hotel, Foxtrot, 3, Uniform, Whiskey, Bravo, India, Delta, 5, 6, Sierra, Juliet, Sierra, X-ray, 5, Uniform, Hotel, Zulu, Uniform, Kilo. This is abortive out. 2, 4, Echo, Hotel, Golf, Oscar, stand by. 2, 4, Echo, Hotel, Golf, Oscar, stand by. Message follows. 2, 4, Echo, Hotel, Golf, Oscar, Mike, 2, Whiskey, X-ray, Lima, Charlie, Juliet, Hotel, 2, Kilo, Quebec, Uniform, Romeo, Yankee, Whiskey, Yankee, Lima, Hotel, Kilo, Zulu, November, Uniform, Mike, Quebec. I say again, 2, 4, Echo, Hotel, Golf, Oscar, Mike, 2, Whiskey, X-ray, Lima, Charlie, Juliet, Hotel, 2, Kilo, Quebec, Uniform, Romeo, Yankee, Whiskey, Yankee, Lima, Hotel, Kilo, Zulu, November, Uniform, Mike, Quebec. This is abortive out.
2, 4, Tango, 5, India, Victor, stand by. 2, 4, Tango, 5, India, Victor, stand by. 2, 4, Tango, 5, India, Victor, stand by. Message follows. 2, 4, Tango, 5, India, Victor, Victor, Mike, Alpha, Charlie, Yankee, 6, November, Echo, Mike, Zulu, Alpha, November, Bravo, Quebec, Papa, Romeo, Hotel, Lima, November, Echo, 6, 3, Oscar, Victor. I say again, 2, 4, Tango, 5, India, Victor, Echo, Mike, Zulu, Alpha, November, Bravo, Quebec, Papa, Romeo, Hotel, Lima, November, Echo, 6, 3, Oscar, Victor. This is abortive out.
2, 4, Tango, Delta, Golf, Romeo, stand by. 2, 4, Tango, Delta, Golf, Romeo, stand by. Message follows. 2, 4, Tango, Delta, Golf, Romeo, Foxtrot, Golf, Zulu, Romeo, 7, Bravo, Lima, Sierra, Tango, Zulu, Yankee, November, Romeo, 3, Delta, Uniform, Mike, Echo, Papa, 4, 2, Zulu, Quebec. I say again, 2, 4, Tango, Delta, Golf, Romeo, Foxtrot, Golf, Zulu, Romeo, 7, Bravo, Lima, Sierra, Tango, Zulu, Yankee, November, Romeo, 3, Delta, Uniform, Mike, Echo, Papa, 4, 2, Zulu, Quebec. This is abortive out.